Okay, so this is what I've been working on because I feel like, let me minimize this here. Hold on just a second, you guys. All right, so let me make sure I am recording. Yes. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so my name, for those of you who don't know me, is Tammy Higginbotham, and I am an Executive National Vice President. And just a little bit about my story. I jumped in with both feet in March of 2004 by the encouragement of my sponsor, Carlita Nelson. And Martha and Carlita just were supportive, encouraging, excited, enthusiastic, passionate about this business. And you guys, I needed that in my life at that time. My husband and I had to start all over. We had a very lucrative business, but unfortunately, someone had taken that out from under us, and we had to start all over. So I am so grateful to them. I've been in Arbonne now, I believe it's 14 years. And on my journey, I have learned quite a bit of personal growth. And my husband, he says that personal growth has been the most wonderful part of me joining Arbonne. So I hope that you recognize your growth on your journey as you're working through different things in your business and working with people. There's things that we have to learn to do in order to be successful and work our way to the top of the company. Now, some of us really move quickly through the levels of management, but once we get there, there's some things we got to work on and go back and make sure that we haven't missed. So, you guys, we're always growing. Every single one of us are constantly doing personal growth and working on ourselves. So, as you've noticed here, I said leadership qualities, the zoo in you. You guys, as you know, we love to go to the zoo, and sometimes we love to watch, the kingdom, whatever the animal kingdom shows on TV, and it's fascinating. Animals are absolutely fascinating, and they can teach us so much about leadership. So the first animal I want to start with, and I want you guys to bear with me. Don't delete me here. Don't get off, because there's a lot here I want to share with you. And as a matter of fact, you guys, when I was doing this training, putting it together, I couldn't find an ending place, because you know what? There's so much out there that can help us, and that, like I said, that I've learned on my journey, that I can't hardly wait to share with you. What if you can be, be in tune to who you are and what you need to do. I really think it's going to help you grow better and more solid business, because you're growing and you're going to help other people grow as well. So what I've learned about elephants is that, for one thing, did you know elephants can recognize 30 companions by smell, sight, and they know every member of their herd. They know them. They know where they are all the time. They are constantly, thinking about their herd, and they know them. You guys, and that's what we have to do in our business. If I call us herds every now and then, I'm sorry, because I'm trying to intertwine these great, wonderful qualities of the elephant and their traits. So let's talk about the elephant. An elephant walks slowly. It's an animal that is big, but have you ever noticed how graceful an elephant is? Do you know they're not hurried? Again, they're graceful, and they take time to consider all of those people around them. So when you walk into a room, into a meeting, you have team members there, you might just be a team of one. You know what we've got to do even as a team of one? We need to go around and get to know people. We have to practice those skills around the safe environment of our culture of Arbonne. Also, if you're a team of more than one, you need to be walking slowly through the room, not blasting through a room and just knocking people over and not caring about everybody in that room. You've got to walk slowly and think about people and see who is off by themselves, who needs to be welcomed into the meeting, no matter who they are, because you guys, what goes around comes around. If they're not even on your team, love whoever's there and make them feel comfortable and, welcome to that meeting. The next thing is the needs of our team members. Where is your team falling short? Know what's going on with your team. Be aware. And that is what we all have to do, is be aware. And that brings me to the opportunity. You guys, when we're sharing the opportunity with people, we've got to stop, listen, just like elephants do. They stop, listen, and look around. We have to stop and listen when we're presenting the opportunity and make sure that we're sharing the parts of opportunity that's not just about us, but listen so we can make sure they see the opportunity, how it can be a fit for them. So here's my question for you too about being aware, is how many opportunities did you miss today? As in, working your business. Did you take the opportunity to work your business? So think about that and really be honest with yourself. How many times did you share the opportunity today? And I just want to take today, only today. Were you aware about your business? Were you sharing the opportunity with other people today? Or did you miss opportunities? Did you miss an opportunity to work your business? You guys, take time to think about those things. Now, here's an important part that I think that all of us need to be aware of are threats. Just like the elephants in the wild out there, they have to worry about threats. And that lead elephant and all the probably other elephants in the herd, they are aware of the threats around them. And you guys, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm trying to help you be aware of what could be out there that could be holding you back from building your business. And we call those people border bullies, dream stealers, etc. We call them all those different names. So be aware of who you're sharing your dreams with. This is something our pastor talked about not too long ago. And he said, there's some people that you don't want to share your dreams with. Because they could zap it, take it out from under you. They may just have that personality that doesn't dream. Some people just don't dream. But the best way you could help those people that you can't share your dreams with is to be an example and show them that it can happen. That's how you're sharing your dream with those kind of people. So that's the best way to share your dream, is to go and make it happen. I had a friend when I first started my business that her husband thought I was absolutely nuts for doing this business. They thought I was crazy. And you know what? I wanted this so bad and I needed it so bad. I had the strength to be able to overcome his negativity. And what I did is I used that negativity to put fire under my bottom to show him that I can make this dream happen. And you guys, that's what I had to do, and it worked. So the next thing is, I want you to know that comparing is a belief stealer. Comparing is a belief stealer. Compare with yourself, not with others. You guys, there's so many things like on Facebook. Everything you see on Facebook is so wow. I mean, people are doing some wow, incredible things out there. I mean, sometimes I post some things and I think, okay, is this going to, is it a good post? Is it okay? And a lot of times we post just to save our pictures and stuff. But when we're scrolling through the news feed, do you know that can totally affect you? And y'all have all heard this, that. So be careful that you don't do it to yourself, that you don't self-sabotage. So comparing activity is golden. That's what you want to compare, is activity. And I know many of you have heard that before, but it's golden. Here's something I was thinking about the other day is you don't always have to be the shiny penny. Because you know what? old pennies are worth the same thing. I know personally on my journey, I am 55 now, and when I started, I was 41. And you guys, I mean, you know, I was on top of the world. I made it to the top of the company in 19 months from the day I started, and I would get, you know, a sponsoring reward, and I would be the top sponsoring, and, you know, with Carlita and things like that. And then, you know, all of a sudden, there's other people that are going to come in and they're going to do better and better. And so that brings me to, there will always be someone bigger, stronger, and faster. You guys, we're all beautifully and wonderfully made, which we all know that. But I want to tell you this as some wisdom here. You will be disappointed over and over if you think you can stay ahead or be the best. You guys, you can't, because there always will be someone bigger and better, just like on Facebook. There's always going to be something, you know, shiny out there that could be discouraging to you because you think, well, gosh, you know, they look like everything's perfect in their life. And you guys, it's not. No one has a perfect life. So if Facebook bothers you, get off of it. You know, what I do is that I just post, like I said, to save my pictures. You guys, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I hardly ever look at newsfeed. So if I don't like something of yours, I love you and I'm excited for you, but I can't always look at newsfeed because it can affect me and I don't want to see that. So the next thing, are your members growing? Are they stagnant? And you guys, where is your herd headed? Where are you headed? Do you know where they're headed? And you need to know the health of your team. Is your team positive? Is every single person on your team feeling good about your relationship? So the next thing is I want to talk about value. You guys, coaches give direction to the team. Just like elephants, there's lead elephants. And eventually that lead elephant has to move over and let other people be leaders. So we've got to make sure that we're helping to, like I said, protect the team, but we also have to value our teams. So we have to take time to coach our teams. And you guys, that takes time. You can't be selfish with your time when you bring people into your business. You can't just say, here's the information, good luck, and go. There's companies out there, you guys, that do that, but we cannot be that company. It doesn't work when you just sign people up and say good luck. You have to pour into each team member, and you definitely have to value and add value to the team, add value to the individual, let them know that they're valued. And another thing, you guys, and this is very important, is value your leaders. So that's, you know, that's another thing that sometimes gets missed. Good coaches, you guys, good coaches inspire people. And by inspiring people, go and do the do, and that inspires others. I know the more I do personally, the more it inspires my team to do more. The next thing is we have to measure progress. And you guys, goals only work if you measure the progress. And you may have to reset your goals, and that's something that we, in this business, you will do that many times over. Sometimes you hit the mark and you reach that goal, but if you don't, it's okay, reset it. But measure it along the way. Remember the old numbers do not lie, that saying that we have heard ever since I remember in this business. And so the other day I was going through it and I was looking at my own personal activity and at my business, and I was thinking, wow, numbers don't lie. I need to get to work personally. So look at the reports, look at the results, but don't sit on your web stats or your, I guess now we call it your reports on the website. Don't just sit there and look at it and think it's going to change. It won't change until you do something about it. The next thing is a good leader follows through. You guys, when you tell somebody you're going to do something, you got to do it. And so you've got to make sure that you're not, you know, just saying you're going to do something to make that person feel good, that you said, yes, you would do it. You have to follow through. If you give someone a sample, you guys, and you said you're going to follow up with them in 24 hours, I promise you, you're going to miss a sale if you don't follow up within 24 hours. And we have to stay on point and stay on a task. and follow through with what we say we're going to do. It's anything. If you tell another leader you're going to do something, you're going to train one night, you know what? Follow through, do what you say you're going to do. If you can't do it, give them ample time to do something about it. Don't be a last minute or saying, oh, I can't do it, and it's an hour before something needs to be done. Another thing is we have to solve each issue as they happen. So you guys, there's going to be things that's going to happen in your business that's going to be, like maybe an order got messed up or sent to the wrong person, or there's going to be things that's going to happen. You guys, we're a huge company. They're pushing out orders like crazy, and weird things are going to happen. We have to, as leaders, we have to be patient, and we have to be in control of our frustration. And you guys, there's no Arbonne emergency. Things can be fixed. And Arbonne has always been so good about working with us. So be the person that keeps the calm with your client. Be that person that also protects the company. So, and don't get sidetracked by new things, you guys. There's always going to be this big new training, or this big new, not training, I don't mean training, I mean big new idea or whatever. If what you're doing is working for you in creating sales and sponsoring and future activity, then be careful, because every time you try to add something new, you could be weakening your business. So be very careful not to get sidetracked. And also, you guys, we have tools, and I know sometimes when you don't create the tool yourself, it feels like it's hard to understand. But if you take time to get training on that tool, or listen to the trainings that Carlita's been so kind to go and put on YouTube for all of us to use, even her ENVPs use these videos. You guys, if you go take time to listen to those trainings, then you won't feel you've got to go and reinvent the wheel. And the problem is that people glance at something because they didn't create it. It can be sometimes a little confusing to you. I know that happens to me too. But if I go and study it, you guys, I get it. It makes sense. Then it becomes mine, and I can use it freely. So, okay, the next thing is the lion. So the lion is an amazing animal. And did you know a lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away? 5 miles away. You guys, can people hear your voice a long ways away? Do they know you do Arbonne? Have you made yourself heard? How's your roar? How are you doing with that? People cannot read your mind. And you guys, if your mouth is closed, then your business is closed. You got to ask for what you want. I know a friend of mine, she is a professor in cybersecurity at the University of Dallas. And she heard me train on asking for what you want one time. And you know what? She uses that, and she's used it for about 2 or 3 years now in her one of her trainings that she does for her school. So you guys, ask for what you want. Be clear. Shout it from the rooftops. Roar like a lion. Be a mover and a shaker, you guys. People aren't just going to come knocking on your door saying, I want to do this business. Has it happened? Yeah, it's rare. It doesn't happen all the time. But I want to tell you that if you want this, you have to be a mover and a shaker. You've got to be the one that says, I want this business. I'm going to make this business happen. I'm going to roar like a lion, and people are going to know I do Arbonne. You guys, passionate competence. You can use your talents and gifts you have. Use it and go. Find out what those are and use it. So the next thing is your reputation. You guys, you know, go and share your product and things like that, and make sure you keep your reputation in check. And that means people are watching you. So if you're saying anything negative about Arbonne, they're going to know. If you say anything negative about a sideline sister or brother in this business, people are going to see you do that. They're not going to want to join your team. Having a good reputation means that if someone is already a consultant under someone else, We don't go try to recruit them and, try to finagle a way to bring that consultant into your business. You guys, we have to be very careful with our reputation. It's people are watching, you guys. Have good work ethic is another thing, is that, a good work ethic, people are watching that. They want to be on someone's team that they know is working hard at it. Here's something interesting, is that there was this consultant that someone said, well, do you know so-and-so? And I said, oh yeah, I know the name. I don't really know her that well, but I know that name. And they said, wow, she is on fire in Arbonne. She's growing like crazy. You guys, this consultant is a consultant. She's not a district, area, region, or nation, but because she made herself heard out there, then people out there are seeing her as someone who is confident, who is passionate about what she's doing, and they feel like she could get them where they want to go to. So see, you don't have to be a national vice president to hear your roar. You can be a consultant and people will hear you. And you've got to make sure you're being heard. Let me see here. Another thing is, how are you making other people feel? And that goes with recognition. Are you encouraging your team? Do you make others feel good? When you walk in a room, do people feel intimidated by you because you're not friendly? I know we talked about that before, but we need to know what people, we have to know that when people associate, when they hear the word, when they see your face or they see your name, that Arbonne is what you do. You're associated with that word Arbonne. And you guys, that's branding yourself. So you want to build your brand. You want to make sure that you are that consultant superstar example I just gave. Let me see here. The next thing is, this is so important, you guys, on encouraging your team, is public recognition. So I know that we talk about private victories before public recognition, which it is so true, you guys. There's so much that all of us do in our private lives that people don't even see. They have no clue what you're doing in that private time. And then there's times you'll be recognized, eventually for all the work you've done. But on the journey, on the way, make sure when you see a sideline sister, team member, or somebody that is in qual for district or has done something and they were recognized within our small meetings or whatever, make sure that the public hears you roar with excitement their success. For instance, if you're out somewhere and your girlfriend's doing this business and she just qualified for district or qualified for a level or was top sponsoring from you down or whatever, just say, hey, we need to celebrate. Cheers to Susie over here. She just made qualification for the first level of the company. We're so excited. So congratulations, Susie. You know what, you guys? That public recognition, number one, all of her friends, everybody around her sees that she is doing the things she's supposed to be doing to build this business, and it encourages her and it encourages the people around her in her group to want to join. Okay, see, another thing is that I want you to know that everybody, of course, has various skills that they're really good at, and some people aren't so good at some skills. I know that my best skill is not, this is where I feel the least comfortable, is training. But I know that if I train more, I'm going to get better. And I don't know, some people just aren't comfortable with speaking. But I also want you to know that that's normal with everybody. Everybody feels something that they're not comfortable about. But whatever you're not comfortable doing, do more of it so you can get better. The other thing is that your leaders, you need to know that people who sponsor you care more about you than you will ever even understand. Your leaders and your sponsor, whoever your sponsor is, there's not anything in the world they would want to do to keep you from being successful. Their whole ultimate goal is to help you achieve, help you grow, help you, you know, all along the way. So you've got to trust your leader, no matter all the way up the line. You have to trust every single leader. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is, oh, this is so important. You guys, be a part of the solution. We want to be problem solvers, not problem makers. So this was one that I thought was important, that we all, because we have all different personalities in this business, and you know, just different levels of successes and things. So you guys, we've got to make sure that we keep gossip out of our businesses, keep negative things out of our businesses, because when you're talking to someone negatively, you could be stealing their dream, and then you're also stealing the dream of the person you're talking about, and then you're stealing your own dream by gossiping. So it really will come back to bite you, and it could really not be a pretty thing. So the next thing is that, let me see here. So we want to be honest, we want to be loving. And you guys, that's one of the things that, you know, because of what my husband and I went through, I know that people are hurting out there and they need this opportunity really bad. And you guys, people cannot afford to get mixed up in negative. They can't afford to do it. This has to be something that they know that they're safe because they're hurting. They know they're in an environment that they're protected. The next thing is create a culture of discipline. You guys, we have to make sure that we as individuals are disciplined on our own. We can't always depend on someone to inspire and motivate us every single minute of the day. We have to learn those disciplines on our own, and once you learn those disciplines, what works for you, because everybody's schedule and calendar is different, everybody's life is different, everybody's different, right? So find the discipline that works for you and create a culture for yourself of discipline. But what's happening is that you're creating a culture of discipline around you. Other people will pick up on how disciplined you are in managing your life. They will pick up on that, and you're going to be an example, and a life-changing example for so many people. Do you know hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work? You know, there's a lot of parts of my journey where I depended on my talent of certain things in this business, and but you know, I can't just go with talent alone. I had to learn other parts of this business to make sure that I can sustain and keep moving and growing my business. So the next thing I want to talk about are wolves. Oh my goodness, you guys. You know, I was reading about wolves, and did you know the gray wolves have a complex communication system, including body language, barking, growling, dancing, and scent making? I was thinking about our body language and how we can affect someone's, you know, feeling. So we need to make sure we watch how our reactions are, because we can be kind of judgmental, and that can affect people really bad. But togetherness, you guys, we're to inspire and not be alone. We're to inspire others, but we're to inspire to be together. So we achieve more when we're in packs. And you guys, there's all different sizes of packs in the wolves. There's small packs, and then there's the larger packs. It's just like we are in Arbonne. We have different sizes. We have a consultant can have a small pack, but that consultant need to be included in the district pack, the area pack, the region pack, the nation pack. And then we have our United Nations pack once a week on Wednesday nights. And we've got to stay with our pack, and we got to work together as a team. The other thing is, you know, I was thinking about different ways we can inspire people. I need to go back to that. So we can inspire people: relational, love others, strategy. We can, with our passion, with our competence, and with coaching. So you guys, we try to inspire people through all those ways, but again, we need to make sure that we inspire and we work on our own discipline, as I have mentioned. Another thing that's important is I talked on the last one about, last page about respecting your leaders. You guys never burn a bridge. You will regret burning bridges because you will be surprised as you bring people on in your business. Those people that you bring on board, they're going to maybe click better with the person that you possibly have burned a bridge with. So I want to encourage you never to burn a bridge with anybody in your upline, downline, sideline, or anywhere, because it is important, and relationships are important. The next thing is communication. You guys, we have to lead by example. You know, sometimes you feel like that's a big load on your shoulders, but you guys, if we are doing our part, then other people will be too. And we have to be patient with people, you guys. Not everybody is going to jump in and be an ace and want to just go to the top of the company overnight. So we have to be patient and know there's all different kinds of personalities that are joining, and so we have to be patient with people. And again, we have to listen. Just like communication, we got to listen. Part of communication to me is being plugged in every Wednesday night because we're communicating with our larger pack. We got to respect one another, speak only positive, every level is a pack, and love your pack. I kind of jumped around there. Sorry about that. So the next thing is establishes accountability. And so this is, you're probably wondering, what does she mean by this? Does it take more than 10 seconds to figure out who's responsible? You guys, what I mean by this is when you go and when you host an event, or you have a hostess have an event, host an event, you guys, have you established and made it clear what their role at the event is? Is it clear what maybe you're going with a new consultant to an event? Is it clear what that new consultant's role is? Have you made it clear to them what their role is? You guys, we have to be clear and never assume. We got to make sure people know the responsibilities. And the next thing is, don't ask the pack to do what you wouldn't do. So, you know, come early, stay late. So if there was one animal that I know I would need to work on is, you know, probably the wolf. I am not always real early, and I don't always stay late to some things, and I need to work on that. So I'm just being transparent here. So, you know, I'm a lot better in the last couple of years than I've ever been. So I will tell you, at GTC, I was pretty good at getting places early, and I would stay late. So I just would try to start too many other things when I would get out the door. So the next thing I want to talk about is the cheetah. And did you know a cheetah can run up to 75 miles per hour, and they can turn in mid-air while running? You guys, I think the cheetah is a magnificent animal, and it's a great animal for us to learn from. They're fast and they're flexible. They can maneuver and accelerate. You guys, one of the things that on my journey I know I had to do over and over was, for one thing, no two parties were ever the same, or get-togethers or whatever you call them. No two one-on-ones ever ended up the same. No two three-way calls were ever the same. Zoom conference, Zoom presentations. I had to learn to maneuver. I had to learn to take that party from 0 to 75. I had to learn to do that and be okay with that. Because if you get rigid and you try to stay on a, you know, go by your flip chart in your whatever program you have that you're using, I want you to know you're going to be disappointed and you're going to get lost a little bit. So you've got to be able to go from 0 to 75. Like, for instance, if people are not paying attention to what you're saying at all and they're over here chatting, which that happened to me one time. I literally flew down to Florida for a presentation. They said there's going to be 30 people there. I got there. Yes, there were about 30 people there, but over half of them were wasted. I mean, really. And so I had only about 3 people sitting on the sofa paying attention, and I had a heckler in the background. I had to learn to maneuver through that. But my goal, what I figured out, was let's get these people to the ordering process now. So I had to learn to maneuver, and I accelerated that party to where I got my sales in. And another thing is, you guys never get comfortable. And this is really important. I know that there were different stages in my business where, you know, I kept working with who I had, and I got comfortable with working who I had. But I am here to tell you that you've got to keep bringing new people on board all the time. And you guys, every day is different in this business. No 2 days are ever the same. And so my advice to you is to always focus and fill that pipeline full. That is how you're going to be able to maneuver in this business and accelerate, is by keeping your pipeline full. You may have to chunk your time, you guys. Some of you that have full-time jobs, or you have several children at home, you may have to say, okay, this is, you know, my business time, and chunk your time so you can focus on your business. You guys, I had such laser focus growing my business. I remember being in an airplane, flying to my first MVP meeting in, I believe it was in Laguna Beach. And my husband and daughter went with me. They stayed in another hotel because I had to stay with the other new MVPs. And they had a great time. Then finally we got together. We enjoyed a little bit of Laguna Beach for our first trip out there. My plans, we got in on the plane, and we headed from there to St. Louis because I had a Discover Arbonne in St. Louis that one of my team members wanted me to come up there and do. So I worked it into my schedule. I never will forget being in the plane on the way to St. Louis, and I looked down and I said, wow, the trees are so bright and colorful. I can't believe that. And my daughter looked at me and says, well, duh, it's fall. I said, it's fall? You guys, I didn't even know what month it was. I was so laser focused. It's like, you know, I was just in this little cocoon building my business because I had to be focused. I couldn't, just like the cheetah has to be focused on its kill, on its prey. It has to be to catch that prey. And so, and then there'll be times, you guys, when you have to take calculated pauses. And what I mean by that is time to think. Take time to think where you are in your business and what you could be doing better, where you need to work. Maybe you need to work deep in your downline because you know, there's some things going on between you and that downline, and you need to work down there and support that. Make sure it's not, you know, weakening information, and that all the time you've got to work your wit. There's never a time in this business that you ever stop working your wit. I'm going to make that very clear. The next thing is set and share your goals. You guys, the action plan, you've got to make sure you truly are looking at your action plan on a regular basis. A lot of new people that get started will say, you know, do your action plan, and they'll kind of do it, and it's almost like they're doing, you know, new people are doing it to please the person that asked them to do it. You guys, that action plan is for you, for your business building. It's not for me. It's not for you, the person you're sponsoring. It's for each of us to work and grow our businesses. Just the other day, you guys, I opened up the action plan and I looked through it because I wanted to see the memory joggers again. Who else I could be talking to, and who I could be adding the names to, and have I done these things? Have I revisited my whys? You guys, your whys are going to change. My whys they've changed over and over and over because I've met my goals in my personal life, that I have to find the next why that's going to keep me going and motivated. And those will change. So the next thing is break it down for you, break it down for your team. And what I mean by that is, what do you need to meet your goal? What does your team need to reach their goals? If we focus on helping them reach their goals, you will reach your goals. But you've got to break it down for you on what you're doing. 8 ASVPs equals 2,500. You guys, that's the building block. And if we focus on those blocks, then everybody goes district over and over and over. So the cheetah, you guys, are you a cheetah right now? Are you setting your goals? Are you getting everyone on the same page? Whether if you're a team of 20 or a team of 1, it doesn't matter. And the next thing, you guys, are you exuding optimism? And you guys, we have to be optimistic. We have to look at the glass half full all the time. And you guys, I found myself many times on my journey where, you know, I had the attitude, the glass half empty. We're going to do that. It's natural. You're going to do that. But we have to always keep that in the back of our mind, that I'm going to see the positive. I'm going to see the positive in a no-show. I'm going to see a positive in a cancel party. And the way I do that is I call up the people who didn't show up. I get the numbers from the hostess, and I call them up and say, hey, sorry you missed a great party. You know, even if it was just me and the hostess, and say, you know, I have a little something for you. When could we get together for a one-on-one? Turn that into a one-on-one. And that is being optimistic and looking at that glass half full. And you know what? We can't afford to have a bad day. We've got to stay on top of things. And but we've got to have those bad moments in private. And if you need to complain, never complain to a sideline sister or brother. You always call your upline VP for support, because I think once you let it out, I know for me, once I let it out, it's gone. And then I can move forward. Sometimes we just need to vent. But let them know what you're doing when you call. So the next thing is, the things to remember here is, remember, an elephant measures progress, is aware, values others, follows through. And I forgot to put a word on here, but is a very, very determined. Elephants are determined. The next thing is, the lion has a voice, reputation, rewards achievers, is a part of the solution. Wolf promotes togetherness, communicates, respects, establishes accountability, leads the pack, and works with the larger pack. The cheetah is fast and flexible, focuses, sets and communicates goals, exudes optimism. So which animal quality are you right now? And which animal quality do you need to work on? So I will say, I need to work on all of them, because I always need to work. I always need to work on myself. So let me stop share. I don't even know what time it is. So I hope everybody is there, and I hope that there's something that you can take from this. I kind of wanted to do a little something different. I threw this together, and I thought, oh, let's talk about animals. It is summer, and I even put my safari dress on. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope somebody got something out of it tonight that will remind you that, to me, that's just what this is all about, is just to be a reminder. Thank you all for being on. Ooh, I went way over, so sorry.
Tammy, check all the comments.
Oh, thank you. I will do that.
That was awesome, Tammy. Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome, Yvonne. Thanks for being on.